What's good, football fans? Back at you once again with another video. And today I wanted to come on and take a look at the Washington Commanders' first round draft pick. While we had online discussions for weeks, it seemed like, about who they would take with pick 16, they didn't even hesitate when they were on the clock. They ran right up there, gave the name Emmanuel Forbes. As video evidence showed later on, Ron Rivera actually already had plans of taking Forbes and talked about it earlier in the day. Now, obviously, all the chips had to fall for that to happen. A little bit of a debate on whether or not maybe they reached a little bit and took him a little sooner than they should have. But had they waited, more than likely he would not have been there in the second round for them to take. So it is what it is. And I can tell you that after taking a look at his film, there's absolutely no reason for anyone to be upset about this pick. This guy checks a lot of boxes in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different places. His playmaking ability is something that the Washington Commanders lack currently. First off, everybody already knows about his 14 interceptions. He had 6 interceptions in 2022, and he also had 6 pick sixes during his time at Mississippi State. I have actually seen a lot of experts, Brett Holloman was one, a couple others, who have tried to discredit the interceptions and act like, oh, well, this was a bad throw and this was horrible and this was this. Folks, how do you think interceptions happen? They don't just happen on perfect passes all the time. But I digress. Seems like every time Washington gets something worth a damn, everybody wants to try to find what's wrong with it. Now, with that said, let's jump right into this tape. The absolute first thing that I saw with this guy was his speed. This guy has elite closing speed, and that's something that's always in demand in the NFL. And if you can put elite characteristics alongside of speed like that, then you really got something. As you see in this play right here, that quarterback had no chance, none at all. If you watch it on the replay, I mean, by the time he sees that this man is coming at him unguarded, he's already sacked. Like, that man's already sacked right there. Like, there's nothing he could do. Once he sees Forbes is on the way there, it's over. Now, it's important to note that playmaker does not only mean interception maker. Watch this play right here as it transpires. Look, block kick. How long ago has it been since Washington had a block kick? It's been a long time since I remember one. Or if we had one, it's been a long time since I remember it being returned for a touchdown. The excitement factor this kid brings to the plate is definitely there. I absolutely love the ball skills this kid has. I mean, whether it's a tip pass like this one right here, or just out in the open on his own, to be able to anytime he's around the ball, watch out, because he's a threat to grab it and take off with it. I bet you anything that SEC offensive coordinators were so happy to see this dude get the hell on and get out of their conference. They probably just couldn't wait to the day that they didn't have to see lucky number 13 over there in maroon no more. I can just about guarantee that shit. I mean, look at the way he just takes this ball to the house. I mean, tight ropes that sideline and then by. I mean, the speed. And it's just one of those Hail Mary into the game plays where the offense is just trying to toss it up there and see what they can get to happen, and your guy comes down with it. And this is the kind of stuff that the defenses rely on from guys like this, that unbelievable vertical and his athletic ability, his ball skills, shutting it down at the end of a game right there. Again, ball skills. It's not always about being able to intercept the ball. It's about being able to get around the ball and being able to make plays when the ball's in your area. And this kid does it well. And then once he gets the ball, I mean, you're going to play hell finding players that can catch up to a guy that's that fast. I can tell you this: if your receiver is soft at the point of where the ball is coming to him, this guy is going to snatch it from him. This guy has got some dog in him for certain. He is going to reach in there and snatch it away and take it. And to me, that's the kind of skills would you want from a corner other than that? I mean, that literally is exactly what you want in the position. And when you got a guy that can read the quarterback and know what he's doing before the play and can just lay back and then jump out of nowhere and get the ball, then you really are dealing with something that's hard to get around. And this guy does all of that. And he has that elite ability to take it back to the house and get 6 points on defense, which if the Commanders can put points on the board on the defensive side of the ball, then it's going to be lights out for that team. I mean, if that defense can put points on the board, that offense won't have to be but so much better for them to be able to win more games. I mean, just watch it from this angle. The intelligence factor here is off the chart. Like, it's almost unfair for that quarterback because, like, this guy, Forbes, is just sitting there waiting for this to happen. He completely telegraphed that. He knew it was going to happen, and it's like his ball hawk trait just kicked in, and, out of nowhere, he was able to just make the right little shift, and boom, right in the hands. And another one where he just telegraphed this perfectly and ball hawked that play right there before the quarterback. It's like he knew what was going to happen before the quarterback ever even let go of the ball and was already planning which side of the field he was going to return that touchdown to. I mean, watch the play again. Yeah, I mean, he knew the whole time where that was going. He was already picking out his lane to run on the return. Look at that. Just cut right on back. Y'all see that offensive lineman right there, man? He tried, y'all. Y'all see that? Look, he tried. It was one of those situations where his legs didn't move. His arms did, though. Oh, man. Oh, to be a big man on a play like that. Again, tip drill. This guy has elite ball skills. This is what we want every one of our guys on defense to have right here. Of course, most of them don't. So if you watch the replay right here, number 44 smacks the ball and Forbes gets the tip and takes it. And I can tell you, he was only a step away from taking that one to the house. And again, ball skills, elite level ball skills will take a cornerback with that kind of speed a long ways. Now this play right here was one of those ones where Forbes looked like the actual receiver himself. He had the inside track, everything. Boom, made the play. I mean, yeah, that's how you do it. You don't get no more perfect than that. Perfect route, perfect catch. Here, watch it from this angle. See? Perfect route, perfect catch. Wrong color jersey on the receiver there for me catching the ball, but hey, good for our guy. A quarterback that makes big plays oftentimes can thank his defensive line at least once or twice a season for one or two of his interceptions or batted balls or whatever the case may be. And that's definitely the case on this play right here, as that defensive line got that quarterback off his mark, running backwards, and the ball just didn't have the zip on it. He was able to get up and get that one. Now, this play right here might actually be the wildest interception I've seen in quite a while. I mean, he not only hops that route, he telegraphs everything about that play. And Will Levis is actually a really good quarterback. I mean, he's not like he's a bad quarterback or anything to that nature. He just got played really hard on that play right there. And I'm going to get more into this film right here, but just watch that. I mean, that's just perfect. Jumps the route, and I mean, look how fast he is. He's almost outrunning the camera there. If you just watch it from this angle, I mean, look at that. Like, you feel bad for everybody in blue on that play because it really wasn't fair what happened there. That was just a play that Levis thought that was going to be a first down with no problem, and yeah, Forbes just ruined his day. Tip drill, elite hands. I mean, it's almost my favorite characteristic of a cornerback is those hands. If they have elite hands and maybe they're tick off in the speed department, I almost am willing to give them a pass, especially if they've got a couple inches, on the next guy in the lineup, whatever, 6'1", 6'2", whatever the case may be. This guy brings all of that to the plate. I mean, all of the package is there. He's got size, ability. I mean, it's all there. Those ball skills are just top level. This is something that the Washington defense has been needing to improve for a long time. Getting somebody in there that can actually mix things up and make some turnovers. I mean, yeah. Watch this replay right here. Watch him get his foot in. They actually called this an incomplete pass. But I don't know, man. That looks like an interception to me. In college, remember, you only had to get 1 foot in college. They call this an incomplete pass. That looks like an interception to me. Thing of beauty, too, by the way. And in the NFL, he's going to have to learn how to get 2 feet in. But look at that. That's the interception. They call that an incompletion, though. Yeah. Thing of beauty, if you ask my opinion. And just like any other player who plays overly aggressive sometimes, there are going to be times when that comes back to haunt him. That was this play right here, which they actually got the first down here. But this was a, had this gone the other direction, this could have maybe even been a safety. So it's a bang or bust type play. But, if he gets that there, then, you're singing a completely different tune. So that's the kind of play that you're willing to let your star try to make. Another Hail Mary play here, and it's good to see, when your guy gets in there and he gets to the top and puts his hand on the ball. And that seems to be what this guy does pretty much every time he's in that type of position. Shows you how good he is at tracking the ball. It shows you what his ball skills level really is. And that's, to me, that's at an elite level. It doesn't get any higher than elite status. And of course, right on cue, as I'm talking about elite ball skills, this guy makes another pick. This film was real easy to watch because every time I turned around, he was making another play on the ball. And of course, that's, the dream of every person that's watching the film is to see the guy they're covering constantly creating turnovers. All turnovers when your team are on defense are good, but the ones that are really, really special to me are the ones that happen in the face of what you thought may have been points going the other direction. An interception right there as the other team is getting ready to go in the end zone, or you intercept it as you're falling into the end zone. To me, it really doesn't get much better than that. Like, that to me is the pinnacle of, definitely for a fan, to see your team stop the other team not only from scoring, but to take that ball away before they could even get 3 points out of it or even get down there to that goal line. Is just something that I yearn for. It's just, I don't know, it makes me feel warm and cuddly inside and fuzzy, you know what I mean? Just look at that thing of beauty. I love seeing that. I absolutely can't wait to be able to see that on Sundays. One thing that I constantly saw repeated by people commenting over the weekend on that video I uploaded from Forbes being drafted was everybody was saying how small he was and thinking that somehow or another his size would equivalent to him not being able to make tackles on the field, or especially in the open field, not being able to stop, the run game, or he was too small to do this or too small to do that. And when I got to looking at the film, I saw a guy that actually, he actually does not try to avoid contact. I'm not trying to say that he's one of these, guys that, the guys that are like 215, 220 pounds that actually look for contact, but he does not shy away from it. When he goes to make a tackle, he's not all arms. He's not all, trying to tackle from the side. I saw somebody try to compare him to like another D'Angelo Hall, which I think is a horrible comparison, okay? Because D'Angelo Hall, he never met a tackle he wanted to make. He would try to move to the side, try to go for the legs. As his career went on, he actually started to do more in tackling, but still he never liked to tackle. Watching this play right here, they actually stripped this ball out here, and I can't tell from the camera angle on either angle who exactly gets this ball out, but they get the ball out. It looks like it could have been Forbes that causes the fumble, but I'm not 100% sure. He's in there trying to rip it out right there. Again, I think one of the question marks was how good of an open field tackler is this guy? After watching some film, I could tell you that he could tackle. Look at this play right here. I mean, he puts this guy down on the ground with some aggression. Watch him grab this guy, yank him, and put him to the ground. Yeah, I mean, he puts him right to the ground, and my man jumps back up like, wait a minute, hold up. What the hell are you doing putting me to the ground, my man? What are you, like 180 pounds? Which, by the way, that is his weight, not 166. But watch him. He's like, doom, room, to the ground. I mean, yeah, he's got some dog in him. Look at that. Look at that. Little dog in there. I see that dog trying to get out. You put another 10 pounds on him, and that dog's going to go run rampant on the field. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. And when I first saw this play, I thought, okay, there it is, the first time I've seen him get beat. But when I watch the replay, I see that it's kind of more like a screen here. It kind of gets picked here. It isn't really him getting beat. Like you watched it right there. He's kind of screened off there. Like he loses a step because there's so much going on, and his guy, number 19, reaches in and makes that touchdown. Ain't a whole lot he could do there. Like that play was perfectly set up that way to have those two receivers crossing in like that. And it just... Levis actually threaded the needle there and got the ball in between a couple of players. He probably should not have been able to make that throw. And that's actually what Levis is known for, is making that throw. At any rate, it's not Forbes' fault there, but he did give up a touchdown on that drive. Not the biggest fan of college All-22, but you can see it from this angle right here as Forbes makes that play. You can't really see the screen over there, or the pick over there or whatever, but you can definitely see he threads that needle and makes that throw. Another thing I think a lot of people had question marks on was in the open field, can he make tackles? And I think as we see right here, he has the ability to do that in the open field without question. Now, were you out there saying that my man is scared to make tackles, is scared to step up in the run game? Because if you are, you need to watch this play and maybe even roll it back and watch it again. That man is not afraid to step in and make a hit. Not one bit. Look at him leading here with the shoulder. Bow! Like, yeah, he makes that play. And that running back ain't no slouch either. That's Gibbs. He was a #1 draft pick this past weekend. And he stops him right in his tracks. Yeah. What he's supposed to do. On this play right here, just another example, open field tackling. I wanted to see as much of it as possible in this film so that I could get a grasp on if this guy can do it or not. And I think he can. I'll let you be the judge of it on your own. I don't feel like open field tackling and stopping the ground game is going to be a problem for this guy. You know, I was talking about Forbes' ball skills a little bit ago. Here they are again on display right here. He almost pulls this one down. I mean, this one... yeah, it went right through his hands. You could tell that he knew instantly that should have been an interception. The ball went right through his hands. I mean, it doesn't get any more right through your hands than that. Right through them. Would have been another pick. Now, I try to pride myself on showing the good and the bad. And this play right here, I don't know if you really call this bad so much as this is just a really good play by the Georgia wide receiver. You watch it back from this angle right here, and as you see, there's really nothing that Emmanuel Forbes can do on this play. Like, the receiver he's going up against there did everything perfect. It was a perfect back shoulder pass from Stetson. Like, this is just a perfect play, a perfect pass. There's not much you could do to defend that. And Forbes still got an arm in there, even with all of that, said. Forbes still got his arm in there and still made a play on that ball. Now you play it back, almost the exact same play. It's a different receiver down there, but Forbes gets in there this time and makes sure that the play doesn't happen. He knocks the ball away. And as you see, he kind of plays his man towards the sideline, which is probably one of the better things I've seen him do in his coverage, is be able to kind of force his man out of bounds almost every single play. It's like he plays towards that and kind of like diagonally leads his man that way, which I love to see. Again, I'm looking for this kid that everybody said was going to be scared to make tackles. Like, I don't see it. This guy's throwing his shoulder into everybody that he can. He's trying to make tackles. He wants to be in on the play. He's not afraid to make tackles. Who in the world did you guys watch the film before you went in saying comments about this guy? I think they just saw a weight and they thought automatically, oh, he won't be able to make any tackles. He won't be able to do anything. Wrong. You guys really should have paid attention, to the film, or at least looked up who the guy was before you started talking about it. Here's another example of some good open field tackling right here. And if he doesn't make this tackle, this could be a problem. He could have gotten away and gone down the field some, but actually he stops him for a loss on third down and kind of dispels what anybody would say about this guy right here, trying to say that he can't make a tackle, he's too little, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever. On this play right here, Forbes gets to the ball almost at the same time the receiver is set to make the catch, and this was almost an interception on the goal line, which would have been really good for them, really bad for Ole Miss. But somehow or another, they get out of this one with just an incomplete pass. Really lucky. We can try to watch it from this angle, but I really hate college All-22 because it's all slow transition to the sides. You can't even see it. I can't believe people actually tried to say that my man can't make open field tackles. Quit talking about this man and saying he's too little. Y'all, he don't know he's too little. I can tell y'all that. This man, you might see a weight level or whatever in your program, but this man does not play at that weight level. He plays way above it. When I first saw this play from the other angle, I didn't really think anything at all about it. And then I saw it played around from this angle here, and you can see on the backside of that play that if Forbes is not making the play on that route that he is, that's likely a touchdown. But he kills that. They're rolling off to the side right there. Not happening. The quarterback has to run the ball. Play over. Half over. The biggest thing that I keep hearing people say about Emmanuel Forbes is that the Washington Commanders reached in the first round to select him in this year's draft, which is a bit confusing to me because I seem to remember almost every single draft guy talking about Forbes and saying that he was a mid-first round, low first round kind of guy that was rising up through the ranks as the weeks went on. It also would make sense that Ron Rivera and company may be locked in on him with the ball skills that he has when they need turnovers in the defense that they have, and with the speed that he holds with those elite ball hawking, capabilities. It makes sense that they would lock in on him. I think a lot of Washington fans have gotten used to the best player available approach and believe that every time that a team is, ready to set to draft or to pick, their time in the round pops up, that they have to pick the best player or trade back if they want a player that they like because, they might be able to get him in another 30 picks from now. Knowing in your mind, there is no guarantee that player will be there in 30 picks or in 15 picks or in 25 picks when you pick again. If you like a guy, why in the world would you let him walk past you? You see it happening all over the league in each round. Teams see a guy they like, they take him. They don't wait around for another 30 picks or whatever. Then somebody else might get your guy. And this was the first year in a while that I could remember them not being on the best player available, thought pattern. Which, by the way, some of you should realize at this point that that's kind of the reason why we're in the situation we are with all these defensive tackles and, defensive ends, and we're stacked at those spots. But in other spots, we kind of have, open areas and we need players because we've taken the best player available in some of the past drafts, and we've ended up stacked at certain positions and needing something at others. I also feel that there's, when it comes to these mock drafts and this going into the NFL draft, people get this idea in their mind of who they want to see as the pick. And when the team picks someone else, it's like immediate rejection when it doesn't need to be that way. The mock draft system should be one that teaches you all the players in the setup, not teaching you to be closed-minded and think that you could only get a small handful of players. I use it to try to get a better thought or a better grasp on who might be available in later rounds. It never plays out like that, and it's to me, it's sort of fun to me, you know, sitting in their shoes and make the choices or whatever. But I never take it seriously. That said, I wanted to go over Forbes' scouting report real quick. Now, as strengths, they have long, stretched-out athlete with elite ball production, patient in his stance and stays balanced to react without hesitation, outstanding spatial awareness in off-man and zone coverages, instinctive route recognition at all levels, displays the click and close burst to fire downhill, swift strider to turn and build up his speed vertically, doesn't panic downfield, and uses proper timing to swipe the ball, either with his back to the ball or when turning his head to make plays mid-stride. Uses his long arms to deliver two-hand strikes or maintain spacing to keep receivers from out-muscling him mid-route. Shows the slippery movements to get around blockers and defend screens. Competitive juices flow through his lean body, and he is always looking to get into the action as a tackler. Had a blocked field goal in 2022, tallied 30 total interceptions over the past 6 seasons, 16 in his final 3 seasons of high school, and 14 in his 3 years in college. Housed 6 of his 14 interceptions for touchdowns, a new FBS record, accounted for 390 total interception yards, which is a 27.9 average. And they have his weaknesses listed as wiry, thin-boned athlete with slight shoulders and below average mass. Has trouble keeping on weight, was 165 as a senior in high school. With questionable growth potential, NFL scouts ask, can he get to 180 pounds? That's the question, and I don't know the answer. Well, I'm just going to stop right there. ESPN says he's 180 pounds now. Eagerness to jump plays will leave him playing catch-up when he guesses wrong. Will get his arm wrapped around receivers, often unnecessarily. Tenacious in the run game, but will stop his feet and struggle to finish, leading to some missed tackles. Doesn't have stopping power and can be blown backwards when he tries to put his shoulder into the belly of ball carriers. Doesn't have much chance to power through tight ends or most receivers once they get blocking hands on him. Played only on field goal blocks on special teams in 2022 and had 3 penalties, 1 roughing and 2 offsides. Lean build will have some questioning with his durability. Missed only 1 game because of injury in college, which is in November of 2022, but also missed parts of several others, including being carted off versus LSU as a sophomore. Forbes was a 3-year starter at Mississippi State and was exclusively an outside cornerback, right of the formation, and former defensive coordinator, now head coach Zach Arnett's 3-3-5 base, playing man, press, and off-man in zone. Since Forbes entered college in 2020, he leads all college football players with 14 interceptions and 6 returned for touchdowns, which is an FBS record. His tape is a masterclass of spatial relationships and anticipation to make plays on the ball. Though he is known to freelance, he usually does it responsibly and plays on the balls of his feet to stay balanced and react to anything. Overall, Forbes' rail-thin build and marginal play strength are concerns, along with his over-aggressive tendencies, but he is light-footed and long with mental processor and confidence to be an NFL playmaker. NFL teams willing to overlook his slightness will find a damn good football player. And the grade that he gave was mid-first to second round. Folks, we're talking about a guy who started 34 out of 36 games while he was at Mississippi State, which is in the SEC, the toughest conference in all of college football. And he put up 14 interceptions, 35 passes defensed, and damn near broke the 150 tackle mark in that amount of time. He was a second-team All-American, but he was a first-team All-SEC selection. I mean, this guy's only a junior. He could have came back for his senior year. You know, 14 interceptions in 3 seasons is unheard of. Imagine what he could have accomplished coming back for another year. It's kind of crazy if you ask my opinion, but yeah. But I absolutely love the pick. I was actually expecting the team to trade back and then take an offensive lineman. But I knew the entire time that the chance was there that they were going to take a corner, and when I didn't see them trade back, I actually thought they were going to take Christian Gonzalez. But taking a look at his film now, really the only difference in the 2 players is Gonzalez is a little bit bigger. I actually like Forbes' ball skills better. So, 6 of one, half dozen of another. If you guys think that they're not going to throw this guy into the weight room and just turn him loose and try to build some mass on him before the season starts, you're crazy. I say by the time the season starts, he's sitting at 180, 180, 183, 184, whatever the case may be. They're going to get some pounds on this kid. Regardless, he's got 4.35 speed. You know, cornerbacks are not drafted to be stars in the rushing game. They're not brought in to stop the rushing attack. They're brought in to stop the passing attack. And this guy has 14 interceptions in college and is a guy they brought in to make plays. I think they made the right choice. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments. And don't forget, tips are always welcome. While I might not sit on here and beg for them or ask for them, I'll never turn them down. Y'all take it easy. Peace.